copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
One major world crisis away from having a totalitarian type of system.
The main event is the wholesale destruction of the world economy.
The push for every nation on the globe to identify and number all of its citizens.
Friends, I hope that you will order Shadow Government from Infowars.com. We also have some specials where you can get some of our other films half price when you order Shadow Government. A new level in production quality and in information. It exposes how a cashless society, surveillance, beast grid of total control is being put into place. This film needs to be seen. Everybody needs to get it. So order yours today. Show it to your friends, your family, your church, your neighbors, your boss, your employees. Shadow Government, ladies and gentlemen. Get your copy at Infowars.com today. Shadow Government. It gives Big Brother a black eye. Available at Infowars.com or by calling toll-free 888-253-3139.
Coast to coast, direct from Austin.
Oh,
You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
Hit it. To give you a gauge of how big this radio show is, we have a computerized phone system that can take about 100 calls at once. My call screener, we don't screen them, he just takes their name and where they're calling from, opens the phone system up for about 2 seconds, and 30, 40 calls come in. Now, we've got 18 on the line right now. That's how many he's gotten to. Another 20 or so that are sitting there on hold. I'm going to try to get to all of you, but each one of you's got 1 minute, please, because I want to get into the kamikaze attack. You know, I'm a public figure, and there's a high burden of proof on libel, slander, defamation for public figures. But if you do something to hurt someone deliberately, knowing it's not true, you will lose in court. Now, I've actually sued people before for libel and slander. I'm not litigious. And I'm so busy that I just let people do it and ignore it, but it's getting out of control. Remember when Oklahoma City got bombed, they blamed it on Rush Limbaugh? Well, that's now happened with this attack in Austin. I mean, so many newspapers, I can't even read them all. The Statesman was the most deceptive. That's in Austin. Social media speeds up news gathering in plane crash aftermath. And it says the Austin-based website InfoWars, owned by conspiracy theorist Alex Jones, had speculated the manifesto was a hoax. No, we just said we don't know if it's real when we first discovered it. We said, who knows if this is real? Later in the day, InfoWars itself was inaccessible. Not true. InfoWars was part of a flood of quickly sprouting blog posts and Facebook pages examining theories such as Austin, Texas plane crash was staged or supporting Stack's alleged point of view. And so the way it talks about InfoWars and then says supporting the point of view, that's done clearly. And then I got a bunch of other headlines saying, Stack's rampage sounds like Alex Jones. Get rid of him. Kamikaze pilot Joe Stack, who crashed plane into Austin building, hailed by anti-government groups. Then it talks about Alex Jones and Infowars.com. What? New York Daily? What? What? We always call for nonviolence here. I've been saying since it happened Thursday. And they were obviously tuning in that if he did do this on his own, it wasn't staged, that it was terrible. I mean, we can't be lawless just because the government is. Now, if it's like Hitler taking you to FEMA camps, that's another thing. Or Stalin or something, and it could get to that. But the point is, you can't just they've made a video game. Pull that up on screen. They've made a video game. I want to show TV viewers this. We've got it linked up on InfoWars and Prison Planet on one of the big gaming sites where you burn your house down with gasoline and then light it on fire and then get in the airplane and crash it into the building and it says justice is served. This isn't a joke. You know, the police shouldn't be able to just execute a citizen because they think they're bad, and citizens shouldn't be able to execute IRS workers. But I'll tell you this, people are upset, and people are praising this guy all over radio, all over TV. I've heard them calling to talk radio on mainline talk radio, and the government should pay attention. The government needs to pay attention to the fact that they're pushing too hard. But that's probably what they want. They want to push too hard. They want to push people over the edge so they can then bring in Northcom and Homeland Security. See, for those that want violence, the feds did stage Oklahoma City. They were clearly involved in 9/11. It's declassified. They staged over 200 terror attacks. That's coming up later. Some of those reports. Declassified. So if Hitler would stage attacks against himself and Stalin and Mao Zedong would do it to make themselves look like victims, should the people then be doing violent things against the government if that helps the government come down on peaceful people? It's wrong when a cop shoots an innocent person in the back, and it's wrong when Joe Stack, if he reportedly even did it, and his family's saying it's not true and they don't believe it, did this. Okay? We have to follow the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, and due process. We're about justice here. And I understand if he really did do it, he was cornered, he was angry, he was upset, and that's going to happen. And certainly the IRS, makes people commit suicide. When a man dies, they take the woman's house when she's an old lady. It's a horrible, criminal, lawless group. But does a secretary in a building deserve to die? The answer is no. All right, I'm done ranting about that until I actually get into the articles and the latest developments coming up in the next segment. But let's continue with calls. Mark in Florida, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex.
Hello.
Recently, I've invented a new way to exercise my Fourth Amendment rights on the Internet. Because the government is reading and storing our email, I've developed a free program that encrypts an email message and then embeds the encrypted message into a personal photo that you can send to your friend or associate.
Yeah, that's that. I mean, they've had that for 15 years, but I guess you invented a new one?
Well, I've got a program on there that uses 1917, the method that was used in 1917. You can then decrypt the original message from the picture. And I'd just like to get your opinion in general about opacifying our emails and other communications from groups like the feds.
Well, my issue is, people say I have nothing to hide. I don't. It's not their right to be snooping and using that info. But no, I think it's good for people to use proxy servers and proxy surfing and all these other technologies that are out there. I think anything that makes it harder for these people to control our lives is better. That's why, and to break the law is better. They're breaking the law when they do this. But I appreciate your call, Mark. Send me an email about it. Leo in Pennsylvania, you're on the air.
Yeah, good afternoon or good evening, Mr. Jones. How are you?
Good. Welcome.
I, first of all, would like to take the opportunity to hail you for your tremendous efforts that you've put forward.
Well, I want to hail the listeners who've made it all possible. It's you that has the power. Go ahead.
Anyway, I wanted to let you know that some weeks ago I had saw a program on a Channel 21, which is 2 here locally in Harrisburg, that had Patrick McGeegan. He was had a show on TV many years ago exposing the Illuminati, and came forward and revealed their background, what they were doing, and actually was warning people of the effects if they continue to be able to do what they do. And it's people like you that are at least putting some wall up to stop them. And I just wanted to tell you something else real quick. When I was a kid, I got introduced to the John Birch Society. And I saw 2 films, one called Overview 1 and the other one Overview 2. And these 2 films exposed communism in the House and the Senate, which was like an offshoot from McCarthyism. And it wasn't shortly thereafter that they were able to put out over the airways that the John Birch Society was in effect anti-Semitic. And that was
I hear you, and I appreciate your call. I got to jump. And of course they're not. That's how they demonize any. I mean, if you say you don't want government health care, they say that's code for race now. But it's not working anymore. Let's talk to Jim in Texas. Jim, go ahead.
Good afternoon, Alex. It's nice to speak to you again.
Good to talk to you, Jim. Speak up and go ahead.
Well, I would just like to say I have nothing but praise for you and your listeners. We're seeing Ron Paul winning in the polls now, which is something 10 years ago that was unheard of. We're seeing mainstream evangelical preachers waking up and telling the people that we only have to follow Romans 13 as long as our leaders are honorable. We're waking up in many, many ways, and I do have slight hopes now that I didn't have before, and I thank you for that.
Well, God bless you. Anything else?
Well, man.